Good evening. No, good evening, and welcome to Living Room Shakespeare's production this evening of a series of scenes and monologues on the theme of metamorphosis. Tonight's theme is, I guess it's a single word that means a lot. So what we've done here is we've interpreted it as those moments in a show when major change is made, when characters discover something about themselves or about the situations that they're in, or they make big decisions. These big turning moments in shows are the moments we're going to be highlighting tonight. And to that end, we have a series of both scenes and monologues and a fantastic troupe of actors all ready and waiting to deliver them to you this evening. So without too much more ado, we will be starting tonight. Let me clarify. I will be giving a little preview of what's coming at every break. So in between monologues and scenes, you'll see me. I will tell you what the next few will be. Allows our actors a chance to prepare and also you a chance to get excited for upcoming attractions. So tonight we will be beginning with a monologue from Two Gentlemen of Verona, followed by a scene from Love's Labour's Lost, and then a scene from Henry VI, Part 3. So to begin, we have Michelle giving us Proteus from Act 2, Scene 6 of Two Gentlemen of Verona. In this scene, Proteus is trying to decide which one of the two women that he is involved with he would rather pursue. So he's making a big decision about these women. Michelle, if you're ready.
Hi, everyone. Before I start my first monologue, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that this monologue has a line in it that would be called I called it problematic, but to give it a name, it's racist. And with everything going on right now, with the Black Lives Matter movement, I wanted to do more than just remove the line in honor of this movement. And I started looking this week for a piece that I could do tonight to make a statement about how much I abhor racism and its place in our society and my part in it and my ignorance about it. And I found that I struggled to find a piece to do for tonight. And so that's going to be my next step, is to, my commitment right now is going to be to explore more art and theater and culture and entertainment from Black artists. And I just wanted to make that commitment in addition to simply taking out a line that was granted. I know it was written it was a character saying it, written 400 years ago, yet I still, it didn't need to be said. And I wanted to take that out and also to make that commitment in public. So, okay. Now to Proteus. To leave my Julia, shall I be forsworn? To love fair Sylvia, shall I be forsworn? To wrong my friend, I shall be much forsworn. And even that power which gave me first my oath provokes me to this threefold perjury. Love bade me swear, and love bids me forswear. Oh, sweet suggesting love, if thou hast sinned, teach me, thy tempted subject, to excuse it. At first, I did adore a twinkling star. But now, I worship a celestial sun. Unheedful vows may heedfully be broken, and he wants wit that wants resolved will to learn his wit to exchange the bad for better. Fie, fie, unreverend tongue, to call her bad, whose sovereignty so oft thou hast preferred with 20,000 soul-confirming oaths. I cannot leave to love, and yet I do. But there I leave to love where I should love. Julia I lose, and Valentine I lose. If I keep them, I needs must lose myself. If I lose them, thus find I by their loss, for Valentine myself, for Julia Sylvia. I to myself am dearer than a friend, for love is still most precious in itself. I will forget that Julia is alive, remembering that my love to her is dead, and Valentine I'll hold an enemy, aiming at Sylvia as a sweeter friend. I cannot now prove constant to myself without some treachery used to Valentine. This night he meaneth with a corded ladder to climb celestial Sylvia's chamber window, myself in counsel, his competitor. Now, presently, I'll give her father notice of their disguising and pretended flight, who, all enraged, will banish Valentine, for Thurio he intends shall wed his daughter. But Valentine being gone, I'll quickly cross, by some sly trick, blunt Thurio's dull proceeding. Love, lend me wings to make my purpose swift, as thou hast lent me wit to plot this drift.
Thank you so much, Michelle. That was well done, and thank you for your statement. Next, we will be bringing you a scene from Love Labours Lost, followed by a scene from Henry VI, Part 3, and then Henry VIII. So our next scene is Love Labours Lost, Act 4, Scene 3. In this show, we have four men who have promised each other a commitment to learning and education, specifically to the exception of women. And they find that all four of them have indeed fallen in love. Watch them discover it together. Gentlemen?
The king, he's hunting the deer. I'm coursing myself. They have pitched the toil. I'm toiling a pitch. Pitch that defiles. Defile, a foul word. What sit thee down, Sarah? For so they have, they said, the fool said, for so they say, and I am the fool, well proved wit. I will not love. If I do, hang me. If faith, I will not. Oh, but her eye. But this light, but for her eye. Will not love her. Yes, but for the two eyes. Well, I do nothing in the world. A lie. A lie in my throat. But heaven I do love. It has taught me to rhyme and to be melancholy. And here's my part of the rhyme, and here my melancholy. Well, he has one of my sonnets already. The clown bore it, the fool sent it, and the lady has a sweet clown, sweetest lady. By the world, I will not carry a pen if the other three were in. Oh, here it comes. One with a paper. God give him grace to grow.
Ah, me.
Sure, by heaven. But sweet, Sweet Cupid, thou hast thumbed him with thy bird bow under his left pap. Faith, secrets.
So sweet a kiss the golden sun gives not to those fresh morning drops upon the rose, as thy eye beams, when their fresh rays have smote the night of dew, the night of dew, oh, the night of dew, that on my cheeks down flows, nor shines the silver moon one half so bright through the transparent bosom of the deep, as doth thy faith through tears of mine give light. Thou shinest in every tear that I do weep. No drop, but as a coach doth carry thee, so ridest thou triumphing in my woe. Oh, do but behold the tears that swell in me, and they thy glory through my grief will show. But do not love thyself, then thou wilt keep my tears for glasses, and still make me weep. Oh, Queen of Queens, how far thou dost excel, no thought can think, nor tongue of mortal tell. How shall she know my griefs? I'll drop the paper. Sweet leaves, shade folly. Who is he comes here? Ah.
And now in thy likeness, one more for beer.
I am forsworn.
I love, I hope, sweet fellowship and shame.
One drunkard loves another of the name.
Am I the first that have been perjured so?
I could put thee in comfort, not by two that I know.
I fear these stubborn lines lack power to move. Oh, sweet Maria, empress of my love, these numbers will I tear and write in prose.
Oh, rhymes are girls on wanton Cupid's hose, disfigure not his slop.
This same shall go. Did not the heavenly rhetoric of thine eye, 'gainst whom the world cannot hold argument, persuade my heart to this false perjury? Vows for thee broke deserve no punishment. A woman I forswore, but I will prove, thou being a goddess, I forswore not thee. My vow was earthly, thou a heavenly love. Thy grace being gained cures all disgrace in me. Vows are but breath, and breath a vapor is. Then thou, fair sun, which on my earth dost shine, exhalest this vapor vow. In thee it is. If broken, then it is no fault of mine. If by me broke, what fool is not so wise to lose an oath to win a paradise?
God of man has God of man. We're much over the way.
By whom shall I send this? Company, stay.
Oh, hid, an old infant play. Like a demigod, here I see in the sky. Unwretched fools secret heedfully over I. More sex to me over will. Oh heavens, I have my wish. Domain transformed. Fork woodcocks in a dish.
Oh, most divine Kate.
Oh, most profane coxcomb.
By heaven, the wonder in the mortal eye.
Oh, by earth, she's not corporal, then there you lie.
Oh, that I had my wish.
And I had mine.
And I mine too, good Lord.
Amen, so I had mine. It's not another good word. Hey.
I would forget her, but a fever she reigns in my blood and will remember to be. Once more, I'll read the ode that I have written.
Oh, once more I will mark how love can vary with it.
On a day, lack the day, love, whose month is ever May, spy the blossom passing fair, playing in the wanton air. Through the velvet leaves, the wind, all unseen, gain passage, find that the lover, sick to death, wished himself the heaven's breath. Ere, quoth he, thy cheeks may blow, ere would I might triumph. Alack! My hand is sworn ne'er to pluck thee from thy thorn. Thou, alack, for youth unmeet, youth so apt to pluck the sweet. Do not call it sin in me that I am forsworn for thee. Thou for whom e'en Jove would swear Juno but an Ethiop were, and deny himself for Jove, turning mortal for thy love. This will I send? Something else more plain, that shall express my true love's fasting pain. Oh, would the king, Barone, and Longueville were lovers too. Ill, to example, ill, would from my forehead wipe a perjured note, for none offend where all alike do dote.
Dumaine, thy love is far from charity, that in love's grief desirous society. You may look pale, but I should blush, I know, to be o'erheard and taken napping so.
Come, sir, you blush, as your case is such. You chided him, offending twice as much. You do not love Maria. Longueville did never sonnet for her sake compile, nor never lay his wreathed arms athwart his loving bosom to keep down his heart. I've been closely shrouded in this bush, and marked you both, and for you both did blush. I heard your guilty rhymes, observed your fashion, saw sighs reek from you, noted well your passion. You would for paradise break faith and troth, and Jove for your love would infringe an oath. What will Barone say when he shall hear faith infringed with such zeal did swear? How will he scorn? How will he spend his wit? How will he triumph, leap, and laugh at it? For all the wealth that ever I did see, I would not have him know so much by me.
Now I step forth to whip hypocrisy. Ah, good my liege, I pray thee pardon me. Good heart, what grace hast thou thus to reprove these worms for loving? Thou art most in love. Your eyes to make no coaches, in your tears there's no certain princesses that appears. You'll not be purchased, 'tis a hateful thing. Touch, touch. None but minstrels like your sonnet. But you are not ashamed? Nay, are you not, all three of you, to be thus much overshot? Huh? Oh, what a sing of foolery have I sing, of sighings, of groans, of sorrow, and of teen. Oh me, with what strict patience have I sat to see a king transferred to a gnat? Where lies their grief? Oh, tell me, good domain, and gentle Longueville, where lies thy pain? And where's my lieges? Oh, by the breast, a cuddle her.
Ooh, too bitter is thy jest. Are we betrayed thus to thy overview?
And not you by me, but I betrayed by you. I that am honest. I that hold it sin to break the vow I'm engaged in. I am betrayed by keeping company with men. But men of inconstancy. When shall you see me right and thinking right? Will groan, will drone, will spend a minute's time to improving, and me? When shall you hear that I will praise a hand, a foot, a face, an eye, a gait, a state, a brow, a breast, a waist, a leg, a limb?
How now? What is in you? Why dost thou tear it?
Why, my liege, why your grace needs not fear it.
It did move him to passion, and therefore let's hear it.
It is Barone's writing, and here is his name.
Oh, guilty, my lord, guilty. I confess, I confess.
What?
That you three fools lack me fool to make up the mess. He, and you, oh, and you, my liege, and I have picked purses in love. And we deserve to die. Oh, dismiss his audience, and I shall tell you more.
Now the number is even.
True, we are four. Sweet lords, sweet lovers. Oh, let us embrace! That's true. We are as flesh and blood can be. The sea will ebb and flow, heaven show his face. Young blood does not obey an old decree. We cannot cross the cause why we were born. Therefore, of all hands, must we forsworn.
What? Did these rent lines show some love of thine?
Did they, quoth you, who sees the heavenly Rosaline bows not his vassal head, and struck him blind, kisses the base ground with obedient breast. What promontory eagle-sighted eye dares look upon the heaven of her brow that is not blinded by her majesty?
Oh, what zeal, what fury hath inspired thee now? My love, her mistress, is a gracious moon. She and an attending star scarce seen a light.
My eyes are then no eyes, no eye brown, no. But for my love, day will tend to night. Oh, it is the sun that makes all things shine.
But what of this? Are we not all in love?
Nothing so sure, and thereby all forsworn.
Then leave this chat. And good Barone, now prove our loving lawful, and our faith not torn.
Aye, marry there, some flattery for this evil.
Oh, some authority, how to proceed. Some tricks, some quillets, how to cheat the devil.
Some salve for perjury.
Oh, 'tis more than need, have you? Then the affection man in arms. Consider what you did first this swear into, huh? To fast, to study, and to see no woman. Flat treason against the kingly state of youth. Say, can you fast? Your stomachs are too young. Huh? Oh, we have made a vow to study, lords. And you, in that vow, we have forsworn our books. But when would you, my liege, or you, in latent contemplation have found out such fiery numbers as the prompting eyes of beauty's tutors have enriched you with? But love, first learning a lady's eyes, lives not alone immured in the brain, but with the motion of all elements, courses as swift as thought in every power, and gives to every power a double power. Above their functions and their offices, never does poet touch a pen to write until his ink would temper with love's signs. Oh, then his lines ravage savage ears and plant in tyrants mild humility. From women's eyes, this doctrine I derive. They sparkle still the right Promethean fire. They are the books, the arts, the academies that show, contain, nourish all the world, else none at all in out proves excellent. Then fools you were these women to forswear, or keeping what is sworn, you will prove fools. Let us once lose our oath to find ourselves, or else we lose ourselves to keep our oath. It is religion to be thus forsworn, for charity itself fulfills the law. And who can sever love from charity?
Saint Cupid, then, and soldiers, to the field!
Advance your standards and upon them laws. Pell-mell, down with that.
Now to plain dealing. Lay these glosses by. Shall we resolve to woo these girls of France?
And win them too. Therefore, let us devise some entertainment for them in their tents.
First, from the park, let us conduct them thither. Then homeward every man attach the hand of his fair mistress. In the afternoon, we will with some strange pastime solace them, such as the shortness of time can shape, for revels, dances, mocks, and merry hours. For run fair love, strewing her way with flowers.
Away, away, no time shall be omitted. That will betime, and may by us be fitted.
Alone, alone, suck cockle reap no corn, and justice always worry in equal measure. Lied wenches may prove, league is to men forsworn. If so, our cup abides no better treasure.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. That was fantastic. I love watching you guys every week. It is so much fun. So next we're going to have a monologue from Henry VI, Part 3, followed by a scene from Henry VIII, and then we're going to have a scene from Much Ado About Nothing. So up next here we have a monologue from Henry VI, Part 3, and here we're going to see one of the famous villains of Shakespearean histories, Richard, who is going to be played by the wonderful Wendy, and Richard is going to give us his firm intention to kill everybody he needs to reach the throne. Wendy?
Aye, Edward will use women honorably. Would he were wasted, marrow, bones, and all, that from his loins no hopeful branch may spring to cross me from the golden time I look for. And yet, between my soul's desire and me, the lustful Edward's title buried, is Clarence, Henry, and his young son Edward, and all the unlooked for issue of their bodies, to take their rooms ere I can place myself. A cold premeditation for my purpose. Why then I do but dream on sovereignty, like one that stands upon a promontory and spies a far off shore where he would tread, wishing his foot were equal with his eye, and chides the sea that sunders him from thence, saying, he'll lade it dry to have his way. So do I wish the crown, being so far off. And so I chide the means that keep me from it. And so I say, I'll cut the causes off, flattering me with impossibilities. My eyes too quick, my heart o'erweens too much, unless my hand and strength could equal them. Well, say there is no kingdom then for Richard. What other pleasure can the world afford? I'll make my heaven in a lady's lap, and deck my body in gay ornaments, and witch sweet ladies with my words and looks. Oh, miserable thought, and more unlikely than to accomplish than 20 golden crowns. Why, love forswore me in my mother's womb, and for I should not deal in her soft laws, she did corrupt frail nature with some bribe, to shrink mine arm up like a withered shrub, to make an envious mountain on my back, where sits deformity to mock my body, to shape my legs of an unequal size, to disproportion me in every part, like to a chaos or an unlicked bear whelp that carries no impression like the dam. Am I then a man to be beloved? Oh, monstrous fault to harbor such a thought. Then, since this earth affords no joy to me, but to command, to check, to o'erbear such as are of better person than myself, I'll make my heaven to dream upon the crown. And whiles I live to account this world but hell, until my misshaped trunk that bears this head be round impaled with a glorious crown. And yet, I know not how to get the crown, for many lives stand between me and home, and I, like one lost in a thorny wood that rends the thorns and is rent with the thorns, seeking a way and straying from the way, not knowing how to find the open air, but toiling desperately to find it out, torment myself to catch the English crown. And from that torment, I will free myself, or hew my way out with a bloody axe. Why, I can smile and murder whiles I smile, and cry content to that which grieves my heart, and wet my cheeks with artificial tears, and frame my face to all occasions. I'll drown more sailors than the mermaid shall. I'll slay more gazers than the basilisk. I'll play the orator as well as Nestor, deceive more slyly than Ulysses could, and like a Sinon take another Troy. I can add colors to the chameleon, change shapes with Proteus for advantages, and set the murderous Machiavel to school. Can I do this and cannot get a crown? Tut, were it farther off, I'll pluck it down.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Oh, these kill me every night. Having to pop back in and talk right after you guys finish is always a struggle for me. I'm like, oh, okay. So next we are going to have a scene from Henry VIII, followed by a scene from Much Ado About Nothing, followed by a monologue from Romeo and Juliet. So first, from Henry VIII, Act 3, Scene 2, we're going to see Cardinal Wolsey and Cromwell. For those who, history is a struggle for me. It always has been. And so for anybody who, like me, goes, Henry VIII, I kind of remember him, but what was this about? Henry VIII is probably best known for having a whole bunch of wives and mostly killing them to get to the next one. Early on, he tried to divorce his first wife, and the play takes place over the course of that interaction. And Cardinal Wolsey played an intermediary between Henry VIII and the Pope in Rome at the Vatican. And what we're going to see here is that over the course of the show, Cardinal Wolsey played both sides of this interaction. He has told Henry VIII that he is trying to get the Pope to sanction a divorce, and he has told the Pope not to grant said divorce, and he has now been caught at that crossroads and has to deal with what he's done. So we will be seeing Cardinal Wolsey from Kelly and Cromwell from Anna. Ladies?
Why, how now, Cromwell?
I have no power to speak, sir.
What? Amazed at my misfortunes? In thy spirit wonder a great man should decline. Nay, and you weep, I am fallen indeed.
How does your grace?
Why, well, never so truly happy, my good Cromwell. I know myself now. Feel within me a peace above all earthly dignities, a still, quiet conscience. The King has cured me. Humbly thank his grace. From these shoulders, the ruined pillars, out of pity, taken a load would sink a navy. Too much honor. 'Tis a burden, Cromwell. 'Tis a burden too heavy for a man that hopes for heaven.
I am glad your grace has made that right use of it.
Hope I have. I am able now, methinks, out of a fortitude of soul I feel, to endure more miseries and greater far than my weak-hearted enemies dare offer. What news abroad?
The heaviest and the worst is your displeasure with the king.
God bless him.
The next is that Sir Thomas More is chosen Lord Councillor in your place.
That's somewhat sudden, but he's a learned man. May he continue long in his highness' favor and do justice for truth's sake and his conscience, that his bones, when he has run his course, sleeps in blessings, may have a tomb of orphans' tears wept on him. What more?
That Cranmore is returned with welcome, installed Lord Archbishop of Canterbury.
That is news indeed.
Last, that the Lady Anne, whom the king hath in secrecy long married, this day was viewed in open as his queen going to chapel, and the voice is now only about her coronation.
There was the weight that pulled me down, O Cromwell. King has gone beyond me. All my glories in that one woman have I lost forever. No son shall ever usher forth mine honors upon my, or gild again the noble troops that waited upon my smiles. Go, get thee from me, Cromwell. I am a poor fallen man, unworthy to be thy lord and master. Seek the king. That sun, I pray, may never set. I have told him what and how true thou art. He will advance thee. Some little memory of me will stir him. I know his noble nature. Not to let thy hopeful service perish too. Good Cromwell, neglect him not. Make use now and provide for thine own future safety.
Oh, my lord, must I then leave you? Must I needs forego so good, so noble, and so true a master? Bear witness, all that have not hearts of iron, with what a sorrow Cromwell leaves his lord. The king shall have my service, but my prayers forever and forever shall be yours.
Cromwell, I did not think to shed a tear in all my miseries. But thou hast forced me out of honest truth to play the woman. Let's dry our eyes. Thus far hear me, Cromwell, and when I am forgotten, as I shall be, and sleep in dull cold marble where no mention of me more must be heard, say I taught thee, say, Wolsey, I once trod the way of glory, and surrounded all the depths and shores of honor, found thee a way out of his wreck, to rise in sure and safe one, though thy master missed it. Mark but my fall that ruined me, Cromwell. I charge thee, fling away ambition. By that sin fell the angels. How can man then, that is the image of his maker, hope to win by it? Love thyself last. Cherish those hearts that hate thee. Corruption wins not more than honesty. Still in thy right hand carry gentle peace to silence envious tongues. Be just and fear not. Let all the ends thou aimst at be thy countries, thy gods, and truths. Then if thou fall'st, Cromwell, though thou fall'st a blessed martyr, serve the king and prithee lead me in. There take an inventory of all I have to the last penny. 'Tis the king's. My robe and my integrity to heaven is all I dare call my own. Cromwell, had I but served my God with half the zeal I served my king, he would not in mine age have left me naked to mine enemies.
Sir, have patience.
So I have. Farewell, the hopes of court. My hopes in heaven dwell.
Thank you so much, ladies. Oh, these scenes are intense. Okay. Next, we're going to have a scene from Much Ado About Nothing, followed by a monologue from Romeo and Juliet, and then a scene from The Winter's Tale. So up next, we have Much Ado About Nothing, Act 4, Scene 1, in which Benedict and Beatrice, who up until this point have possibly mistaken mean sarcasm for flirting, finally acknowledge the fact that perhaps they feel something for each other. And we will be getting fantastically gender-swapped performances from Molly and Joe. When you guys are ready?
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
How much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
There any way to show such friendship?
A very even way. No such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange?
Strange is the thing I know not. It were as possible for me to say I love nothing so well as you. But believe me not, and yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it, I protest I love thee.
Well, then God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
And do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone. Though I am here, there is no love in you. Nay, I pray you, let me go.
Beatrice?
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy.
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height a villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I was a man! What, bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor. Oh God, that I were a man! I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out a window, a proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone.
Beatrice.
Princess and county, surely a princely testimony, a goodly count. Count Comfect, a sweet gallant, surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake. Or that I had any friend would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into courtesies, valor into compliment. And men are only turned into tongues, and trim ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules, that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing, therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice, by this hand, I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul that Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand, and so leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead, and so, farewell.
Oh my God, guys. I'm going to take just a quick moment here as I'm snapping for those two to remind people who have been with us for the last, I don't know how many weeks we've been doing this, guys. We've done quite a number of shows, and we have a rotating troupe, but we have a lot of folks who come back to us over and over again, and we have folks who leave for a couple of weeks and come back. This incredibly talented group of people get these shows at most a week in advance to study them. Tonight's group got their assignments 2 days ago, and they get whatever thrown at them. They don't necessarily ask for these assignments, and they knock them out of the park and floor me night after night after night. Thank you so much to all of our actors, and I will probably do this again at the end, but thank you so much for just abiding by my weird whims. I'm the one who assigned that one. Thank you so, so much. Coming up next, we have a monologue from Romeo and Juliet, followed by a scene from The Winter's Tale, and then a monologue from Hamlet. So up next is Romeo and Juliet, Act 4, Scene 3. We're going to see Juliet as she makes the decision to drink the poison. So she's purchased the poison and has not yet drunk it and is having her moment of decision here. And she will be brought to us by Vera. Vera, when you're ready.
Farewell. God knows when we shall meet again. I have a faint cold fear thrills through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of light. I'll call them back again to comfort me. Nurse! What should she do here? My dismal scene I needs must act alone. Come, vial. But if this mixture do not work at all, shall I be married then tomorrow morning? No, no. This shall forbid it. Lie thou there. What if it be poison, which the friar subtly hath ministered to have me dead, lest in this marriage he should be dishonored? because he married me before to Romeo? I fear it is. Yet methinks it should not, for he hath still been tried a holy man. How, if when I am laid into the tomb, I wake before the time that Romeo come to redeem me? There's a fearful point. Shall I not then be stifled in the vault, to whose foul mouth no healthsome air breathes in, and there die strangled ere my Romeo comes? Or if I live, is it not very like the horrible conceit of death and night, together with the terror of the place, as in a vault an ancient receptacle, where for those many 100 years the bones of my buried ancestors are packed, where bloody Tybalt, yet but green in earth, lies festering in his shroud, whereas they say at some hours, in the night spirits resort. Alack, is it not like that I so early waking with loathsome smells and shrieks like mandrakes torn out of the earth, that living mortals hearing them run mad? Oh, if I wake, shall I not be distraught, environed with all these hideous fears, and madly play with my forefathers' joints, and pluck the mangled Tybalt from his shroud, and in this rage with some great kinsman's bone, as with a club, dash out my desperate brains? Oh, look, methinks I see my cousin's ghost, seeking out Romeo, that did spit his body upon a raper's point. Stay, Tybalt, stay! Romeo, I come. This do I drink to thee.
Thank you so much, Vera. That was amazing. Oh my goodness. So next we will have a scene from The Winter's Tale, followed by a monologue from Hamlet, followed by a scene from King Lear. So up next is Winter's Tale, Act 1, Scene 2. In The Winter's Tale, Leontes is convinced of his wife's infidelity and has finally decided to request that his friend Polixenes be killed for his part in it. So we will see Camillo by Michelle and Leontes by Steve. When you're ready, actors?
Camillo, this great sir will stay longer.
You had much ado to make his anchor hold. When you cast out, it still came home.
This noted?
He would not stay at your petitions, made his business more material.
Is perceived. They're here, with me already, whispering, rounding, Lucilius and so forth, that's far gone, when I shall gust it all. How came it, Camillo? I hate this day.
At the good queen's entreaty.
The good queen's beard, good, to be pertinent, but so it is. It is not. What is taken by any understanding paid by thine. What I concede is soaking will draw in more than the common blocks, not noted, is't? What are the finer natures, by some severals of headpiece extraordinary? Lower methods perchance are to this business purblind? Say!
Business, my lord. I think most understand Bohemia stays here longer. Stays here longer.
Aye, but why?
To satisfy your highness and the entreaties of our most gracious mistress.
And satisfy. The entreaties of your mistress, satisfy. Let him suffice. I have trusted thee, Camillo, with all the nearest things to my heart, as well as my chamber counsels were in priest-like, thou hast cleansed my bosom. I from thee departed thy pertinent reform, but we have been deceived in thy integrity, deceived in that which seems so.
Be it forbid, my lord.
Oh, to bite upon it, thou art not honest. Or if thou inclines that way, thou art a coward, which haughtest honesty behind, restraining from courts required, or else thou must be counted a servant grafted in my serious trust, and therein negligence,
Which...
or else doubting fool.
Either way.
The game played home, the rich stake drawn, and takes it all for jest.
My gracious lord, I may be negligent, foolish, and fearful. In every one of these no man is free, but that his negligence, his folly, fear, among the infinite doings of the world, sometimes sometime puts forth. In your affairs, my lord, if ever I were willful negligent, it was my folly. If industriously I played the fool, it was my negligence, not weighing well the end. If ever fearful to do a thing, where I the issue doubted, where of the execution did cry out against the non-performance, 'twas a fear which often vexed the wisest. These, my lord, are such allowed infirmities the honest is never free of. But beseech your grace, be plainer with me. Let me know my trespass by thine own visage. If I then deny it, 'tis none of mine.
Have you not seen, Camilla? What has passed out you have, or your eyeglasses thicker than a cuckoo's horn, or heard, but to a vision so appearing rumor cannot be viewed or thought, for cogitation resides not in that man that does not think, my wife is slippery. If thou wilt confess, or else be impudently negative, who had no eyes, no ears, nor thought, then say my wife is a hobby horse, deserve a name, as a rank of any flax wench that puts to before her trust plight. Say it and justify it.
I would not be a stander by to hear my sovereign mistress clouded so, without my present vengeance taken shrew my heart. You would never spoke what did become you less than this, which to reiterate were sin as deep as that, though true.
Is whispering nothing? Is leaning cheek to cheek? Is meeting noses? Kissing with inside lip? Stopping the career of laughing with a sigh? A note infallible of breaking honesty, horsing foot on foot, skulking in corners, wishing clocks more swift, hours, minutes, noon, midnight, and all eyes blind with pen and web, but there's only the unseen be wicked. Is this nothing? Why then the world and all that in it nothing? The covering sky is nothing. Bohemia, nothing. My wife is nothing. Nor nothing have these nothings if this be nothing.
Good my lord, be cured of this diseased opinion, and betimes, for 'tis most dangerous.
Say it be. 'Tis true.
No, my lord.
It is. You lie. You lie. I say thou liest, Camilla, and I hate thee. Pronounce thee a gross lout, a mindless slave, or else a hovering temporizer that cannot die with the eyes. I once see good and evil, inclining to them both, or my wife's liver, infected as her life. She will not live in running a wine glass.
Who does infect her?
Why, he that wears her like a medal, hanging above his neck. Bohemia who? If I have servants true about me that bear eyes to see alike my honor as their profits, their own particular thrifts, they will do that which should undo more doing. I and thou, his cupbearer, whom I from meaner form have benched and reared to worship, who may see plainly as heaven sees earth, and earth sees heaven, how I am God. My bespice a cup to give my enemy a lasting wink, which drawn to me were cordial.
Sir, my lord, I could do this, and that with no rash potion, but with a lingering dram that would not work maliciously like poison. But I cannot believe this crack to be in my dread mistress, so sovereignly being honorable, I have loved thee.
Make that thy question and go rot. Dost think I am so muddy, so unsettled to appoint myself in this vexation, solely the impurity and whiteness of my sheets, which preserved is sleep, which being spotted is gold, thorns, nettles, tails, wax, give scandal to the blood, O prince, my son, who I do think is mine and love as mine, without rep and moving to? Would I do this? Could a man so plunge?
I must believe you, sir. I do. And will fetch off Bohemia for it, provided that, when he's removed, your highness will take again your queen as yours at first, even for your son's sake, and thereby for sealing the injury of tongues in courts and kingdoms known and allied to yours.
Thou dost advise me, even so as my own course have set down. I will give no blemish to her honor, none.
My lord, go then, and with a countenance as clear as friendship wears at feasts, keep with Bohemia and with your queen. I am his cupbearer. If from me he have wholesome beverage, account me not your servant.
This is all. To wit, and thou hast one half of my heart. Do it not, thou splitst thy load.
I'll do it, my lord.
I would seem friendly, as thou hast advised me.
Oh, miserable lady! But for me, what case stand I in? I must be the poisoner of good policies, and my ground to do it is the obedience to a master, one who is in rebellion with himself, will have all that are his, so too. To do this deed, promotion follows. If I could find example of thousands that had struck anointed kings and flourished after, I'll not do it. But since nor brass, nor stone, nor parchment bears not one, let villainy itself forswear it. I must forsake this court. To do it or no is certain to make me a breakneck. Happy star, reign now. Here comes Bohemia.
Thank you very much. Oh my goodness, we are getting close to the end of our night, but we have a few more fantastic scenes for you. We have a monologue from Hamlet next, and then we have a scene from King Lear and a monologue from Julius Caesar. So next we have Hamlet Act 2, Scene 2, a soliloquy by Hamlet presented for us by Chris. And in this soliloquy, he's explaining his plan to use the play to expose his uncle's treasonous behavior. Chris, when you're ready.
Now I'm alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit, that from her working all his visage wanned, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit? And all for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy metalled rascal, peak like John of Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Breaks my paint across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me a lie in the throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this? Swoons. I should take it. For it cannot be that I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter. Or ere this, I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's offal. Bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh, vengeance. What an ass am I. This is most brave, that I, the son of the dear father, murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab stallion. Fie upon it! Faugh! Ah, about my brains! Hmm. I've heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by very cunning of the scene, been so struck to the soul that presently they've proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tint him to the quick. If he do blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be a devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness, my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
Thank you so much, Chris. Oh my goodness. Okay, 3 more for tonight. We have a scene from King Lear, a monologue from Julius Caesar, and a scene from Macbeth. So up next we have King Lear, Act 3, Scene 2, in which, so King Lear has begun his secession planning and it's not going well, and he proceeds to somewhat lose his mind, and he has taken his fool and run out of the castle into a storm, and his daughters have helpfully locked the door behind him. Kent has followed him out into the storm and attempts to convince the maddened king to take shelter until the storm has passed. We will see Lear presented by Wendy, the Fool by Anna, and Kent by Vera. Ladies?
Blow, winds, and crack your cheeks. Rage, blow, you cataracts and hurricanos. Spout till you have drenched our steeples, drowned the cocks. You sulphurous and thought-executing fires, vaunt couriers to oak-cleaving thunderbolts. Singe my white head, and thou, all shaking thunder, smite flat the thick rotundity of the world. Crack nature's molds and German spill at once that make ingrateful man.
Oh, nuncle, court holy water in a dry house is better than this rainwater outdoor. Good nuncle, in and ask thy daughter's blessing. Here's a night pities neither wise man nor fool.
Rumble I bellyful, spit fire, spout rain, nor rain, wind, thunder, fire are my daughters. I tax you not, you elements, with unkindness. I never gave you kingdom, called you children. You owe me no subscription. Then let fall your horrible pleasure. Here I stand, your slave, a poor, infirm, weak, and despised old man. But yet I call you servile ministers that have, with 2 pernicious daughters, joined your high engendered battles against a head so old and white as this. Oh, oh, 'tis foul!
He that has a house to put his head in has a good headpiece. The codpiece that will house before the head has any, the head and he shall louse, so beggars marry many. The man that makes his toe what he his heart should make shall of a corn cry woe and turn his sleep to wake. For there was never yet a fair woman, but she made mouths in a glass.
No, I will be the pattern of all patience. I will say nothing.
Who's there?
Marry, here's grace in a codpiece. That's a wise man and a fool.
Alas, sir, are you here? Things that love night love not such nights as these. The wrathful skies gallow the very wanderers of the dark and make them keep their caves. Since I was man, such sheets of fire, such bursts of horrid thunder, such groanings of roaring wind and rain, I never remember to have heard. Man's nature cannot carry the affliction nor the fear.
Let the great gods that keep this dreadful pother o'er our heads find our enemies now. Tremble, thou wretch, that hast within thee undivulged crimes, unwhipped of justice, hide thee, thou bloody hand, thou perjured, and thou simular man of virtue that art incestuous. Caitiff, to pieces shake that under covert and convenient seeming hast practiced on man's life. Close pent-up guilt, rive your concealing continence, and cry these dreadful summoners grace. I am a man more sinned against than sinning.
Alack, bareheaded. Gracious my lord, hard by here is a hovel. Some friendship will it lend you against the tempest. Repose you there, while I to this hard house, much harder than the stones whereof 'tis raised, which even but now demanding after you denied me to come in, return and force their scanted courtesy.
My wits begin to turn. Come on, my boy. How dost, my boy? Art cold? I am cold myself. Where is this straw, my fellow? The art of our necessities is strange that can make vile things precious. Come, your hovel. Poor fool and knave, I have one part in my heart that's sorry yet for thee.
He that has a little tiny wit, with hey-ho, the wind and the rain, must make content with his fortunes fit. For the rain, it raineth every day.
True, my good boy. Come, bring us to this hovel.
This is a brave night to cool a courtesan. I'll speak a prophecy ere I go. When priests are more in word than matter, when brewers mar their malt with water, when nobles are their tailors' tutors, no heretics burns but wenches' suitors, when every case in law is right, no squire in debt, nor no poor knight, when slanders do not live in tongues, nor cut purses come not to throngs, when usurers tell their gold to the field, and bawds and whores do churches build, then shall the realm of Albion come to great confusion. And comes the time, who lives to see it, that going shall be used with feet. This prophecy Merlin shall make, for I live before his time.
Thank you so much, ladies. That was fantastic. We have 2 more for tonight. We're going to have a monologue from Julius Caesar and then a scene from Macbeth. So our monologue is from Julius Caesar, Act 3, Scene 2. This is a pretty well-known one. However, I'm going to give you the history around it. So after Julius Caesar's death, Brutus gets the opportunity to speak to the Roman people and explain why all of Caesar's friends decided it would be a good idea to stab him. And for reasons unknown to much of anybody, they also decide to let Mark Antony talk to the people and explain why that was a bad idea. And it turns out to have been a bad idea to do that because Mark Antony sways the entirety of Rome. Molly, can you give us Mark Antony?
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. They all honorable men, come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? A judgment. Thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
Thank you so much, Molly. That was, whew. Okay. We have one left for tonight. We are going to have Macbeth Act 1, Scene 7, wherein Macbeth and Lady Macbeth basically bicker outside the room of the man they intend to kill. We will be getting the Macbeths played for us by Carl and Kelly on one camera. Carl and Kelly?
As we're done, when it's done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. The assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch this or see success. But this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we'd jump the life to come. In these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions. We taught the turns of plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself? Besides, Duncan hath borne his faculties so weak, hath been so clear, great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. Pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless warriors of the air. Shall blow the horrid deed in every eye that tears shall drown, and I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, door leaps itself and falls in the other. How now? What news?
He hath supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Have you asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought bold opinions from all sorts of people. Be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Has it slept since? And wakes it now to look so sick and pale on what it did so freely? From this moment thus I do account your love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have which thou esteems the ornament of life, and live afeard in your own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage?
Prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then were you a man. And to be more than what you are, you would be so much more than man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, that you would make both. They have made themselves, that their fitness then doth unmake you. I have given suck. Know what 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from its toothless gums and dashed its desperate brains out, had I so sworn as thou hast done to this.
If we should fail...
We fail! Screw thou courage to the sticking point, and we shall not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto this day's hard journey more soundly shall invite him, 2 chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the garter of the brain, shall be a fume, the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep, as in a death, their drenched natures lie, what cannot you and I do upon the unguarded Duncan? What now put upon his spongy officers, who must bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men children only. For thy undaunted metal should compose nothing but nails. Will it not be received? When we have marked with blood those sleepy 2 of his own chamber, used their very daggers that they have dunked?
Who dare receive it otherwise? As we shall make our grief and clamor roar upon report.
I'm settled. Bend up each corporal agent in this terrible fleet. Away. Mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide false heart.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. All right. So we are closing up for the night now. I'm going to ask all of our actors to bring their cameras in. I've moved us to speaker view, so if you keep your microphones off, bring your cameras in. I'll be running a curtain call in just a moment. Prior to the curtain call, I'd like to once more remind you all these actors are doing this work for the fun of it, and we give them like no notice and just throw whatever we want at them, and they just eat it up and give us the best performances. Many of these incredibly talented actors consider the Center for Performing Arts in Rhinebeck to be our theatrical home. In better times, they're laughing at me because I say this all the time. We consider the Center for Performing Arts in Rhinebeck to be our theatrical home in better times, and subsequently we are asking that you consider making a donation to the center during this more difficult time. There's a link above or below or next to me somewhere to make donations. Look around me. And hopefully you will find one. So if you have the inclination and the opportunity, please give some money to the center to help them through this time. Now, without further ado, our amazing cast for the evening. Michelle.
Have a good night, everyone.
Steve.
Thank you very much.
Steve, talk more. There you are. Okay. Molly.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Give us your money.
Joe. Joe? No, Joe?
I'm here. Hello.
Oh, there you are.
Please donate. Thank you.
Kelly.
Hi, thank you, everybody.
And Carl.
Hello, thank you everybody. Thank you everybody.
Wendy.
Donate.
Thank you, everyone. Please donate to the Center for Performing Arts in Rhinebeck.
Anna.
Thanks so much, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Vera.
Thank you, everyone.
Talk more.
Hey.
There you are. And Chris.
Thanks very much. Good night.
All right. Thank you all, as always, for joining us, and thank the actors for joining us. This has been a fantastic night, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye.